Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We're doing a follow-up today on my cable card video from last week. In that video, I had talked about the Channels app as being a potential alternative to a cable card because it allows you to log into your cable provider using the industry standard TV Everywhere service, and you can then stream a lot of your cable subscription to your Channels server over the internet as opposed to going through your digital cable to do it. And in the video, I said that you can't get your local stations on Channels in this way, but in many markets you can, including mine, and a lot of you provided some great feedback as to how to enable that feature. So I want to show that to you first, and then I got a couple of other things to talk about related to my cable connection here. So let's boot up my Channels server and see how we can get my local stations added to the mix. Now just a reminder here that Channels is an occasional sponsor here on the channel. I did some tutorial videos for them recently, but they are not paying for this video, they didn't suggest this video, and they are not reviewing or approving this before it gets uploaded. Now, Channels works a lot like Plex and the HD Home Run DVR do in that you have to have some kind of server running on your local network. This one is installed on my WD MyCloud NAS, and incidentally, that NAS is also running the HD Home Run DVR and my Plex server on my local network, and the PR2100 there is able to handle all of it just fine. And what you need to do for local channels on TV Everywhere is to scroll down to this experimental section here and click on Local Networks via TV Everywhere. And when I did that, I suddenly had more channels available to me under my TV Everywhere source. So you can see my HD Home Run Prime source here, and then Xfinity, where I have 121 channels available. One thing I did do after clicking on that button was to rescan the channels, and I also re-downloaded the channel guide data just for the heck of it, and that's what got everything working. And we'll go into my managed lineup here, and at the top now you'll see that I've got my local affiliate here, NBC, my local ABC affiliate, and my local CBS affiliate. However, my local Fox station is not working, so it just has like a sign-off message on it, and as you can see here, it's not giving me the local station. I'm also not getting any of those side channel stations that some of my broadcasters offer, so it is not fully working for me here, but it is getting me at least 4 or 3 of the 4 networks that I have available on my cable system through this TV Everywhere thing. So if you have Channels, I would check the box and see what happens. You might have a better experience than me, or perhaps a worse one, but I think it's going to vary based on the market that you're in. Now, as we've discussed in the past with this Channels app TV Everywhere feature, the recordings work exactly like they do if they came off the tuner, in that you've got an unencrypted file that you can load up in QuickTime here like I'm doing, or throw over to Plex, or do whatever else you want with it. And this is true of the broadcast channels that I have locally, and I even recorded some sports programming just to make sure those worked as well. One of the things I've been noticing lately in my local area is that the quality of my broadcast networks from cable has really degraded quite a bit, and that same degradation is visible on the TV Everywhere side as well. It doesn't look any worse or better, it's just the same muddied up image that they're delivering to me. And as I dug through this, I discovered why. So in the past, what Comcast used to do was pretty much give you the same MPEG-2 broadcast that came off that broadcaster's tower. Now they are converting the image. So if we go to my HD Home Run recording here, you can see that this 1080i signal is now being delivered to cable customers at 720p. And although it is running at 60 frames per second, it's just basically de-interlacing a 1080i broadcast, and that's the way they keep the frame rate the smoothest. So it doesn't look all that great. It looks a lot worse than it used to, and my equipment used to do the de-interlacing, but now it appears as though these files are de-interlaced, or these streams are de-interlaced as they're delivered to the customer. And again, we're now with H.264 versus MPEG-2, but I'm pretty sure Comcast is still beginning with an MPEG-2 delivery of that video. So they're really muddying things up quite a bit for their customers, probably in an effort to save more bandwidth on the wire per our discussion in the last video. And the channels version coming from TV Everywhere looks pretty much the same, even though the video is at a higher resolution. And to my knowledge, I don't believe Channels does anything to the video when it records it initially. So this file here is exactly what came to Channels through TV Everywhere. And this one is at 1080p, also at a 60 frames per second frame rate. The bit rate's a little bit higher too, but as we like to say in video, this is, by the way, the HD home run bit rate of 6.6 megabits per second, and the Channels one was coming in around 10. But as we say in video, garbage in, garbage out. So I think if you're starting off with a pretty muddied, awful image, it doesn't matter how much you upscale it to, it's still going to look pretty awful. So yeah, that's what appears to be happening here. So it looks as though Comcast, at least, is re-encoding all of the local channels now to AVC in an effort to save bandwidth. Now, I also looked at a cable recording, and this is the HD home run recording. And Comcast has been converting these to 720p now for quite a while. So you can see here we've got our AVC at 720p. And then if we look at the channels version, we have pretty much the same bit rate of just over 3 megabits per second, almost 4. But the channels version is at 1080p 2997 versus the 720p 60 here. But either way, the image looks the same between the two versions. Now, in the last video, we also talked about my subscription plan and whether or not it would make sense for me to drop Comcast for TV and just keep them for the internet. And in looking at my bill, which you have up on screen here now, I found that I would actually spend more money dropping Comcast television. So let's take a look at all the different components here. Now you're going to notice I spend a fortune on my internet connection, and I've done videos about my internet connection, which I'll put down below in the video description. I have the Comcast Gigabit Pro service, which is a fiber optic 6 gigabit symmetrical connection. Do I need 6 gigabits? No. But before I had it, all I had to go upstream with was a very unreliable 10 megabit copper connection to the house here, which wasn't working for my YouTube stuff. So I felt as though I had to go for the gusto here in order to speed up my uploads and, of course, make my live streaming more reliable. And so that is how I've justified it in my head. And it's the only game in town for me as far as fiber optic internet goes. But you'll see that even though I've got this fiber optic internet, they've bundled it with the TV. And the result of this is that even though I'm paying a lot, if I got rid of the TV and got the TV from some other source, I would be paying more. Because right now I've got my Internet Pro Plus, which has my digital economy basic cable plan with HBO, and then we've got the internet speed upgrade with Gigabit Pro on top of that. Now, I did a little spreadsheet here for you so we can do the math on this. So currently, the internet and TV are costing me $372.14 a month. Without TV, I'm paying $318.95. And if I did my math correctly, that's a difference of $53.19. Now, if we look at what it would cost to get my TV elsewhere, you can see that I think right now YouTube TV comparably is probably the least expensive service for what I currently have. That includes local broadcasters and some basic TV subscriptions. But I don't believe YouTube TV comes with HBO for that price, so I'd have to add HBO back in. I do like HBO, so I watch a bunch of shows on that network, so I want to keep that. And so if I were to do the math here, it would cost me $80 to get those services elsewhere, and that would be a difference of $26.79 a month, roughly $300 and change a year. So basically, I would be paying an extra month's worth of subscription fees to get what I'm getting now through Comcast's bundle. So if you are thinking of cutting the TV side of your cable bill and getting those TV stations from other places, do the math first, because in my case, it would cost me more money to cut the cord versus keeping my current status quo. I don't watch all that much television. I do watch the local news on my local broadcast stations, but my wife does watch some of the cable channels that we're subscribed to, which is why I'm keeping it around. But I really don't watch as much network TV as I used to, either broadcast or cable. So I'm very close to the point where I'm ready just to ditch it completely, but not quite there. Now, one thing that I'm hopeful about, because I mentioned this in my last video also, is that I might be able to start getting my networks over the air. It looks as though ATSC 3.0 is now active in my region of Connecticut, and it looks as though all of my local broadcasters are now on the same tower at the same distance. Before, they were coming in from all different directions, and my CBS and NBC affiliates were too far away given the geography for me to pick up. But according to AntennaWeb here, they've all moved on to one tower, and I might have a shot now of getting this to work. So I did reach out to Silicon Dust, the makers of the HD Home Run and an occasional sponsor here on the channel, and they've sent me one of their ATSC 3 boxes for me to play around with here. And I'm going to try to get all of these stations in, so I might be able to fulfill my desire to keep watching local broadcasters. And if I'm able to do this, then I think I might get rid of the TV completely and see if my wife's TV shows are on Discovery Plus or whatever, and just go for it. So I will keep you posted, and we might have some more content around this now that these stations are active, and I might be able to pick them up now with an ATSC 3.0 tuner. So there is hope here, perhaps on the horizon. So I will keep you posted on my journey into ATSC 3.0 broadcasts. And I did buy an antenna that the Antenna Man recommended on his YouTube channel. So I will let you know how it all works. If it doesn't work, I will reach out to him, as many of you have suggested I do, and see if he's got a better recommendation for me. So I think we might be able to get this figured out, and if I do, it'll be a new era here of things to explore as I try to figure out more ways to save money getting television into my house. That is going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Chris Allegretta, Brian Parker, Hot Sauce and Video Games, Baby Metal Fox God, Tom Albrecht, Amda Brown, Matt Zagaya, and Tech Time with Eric. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.